Thanks to everyone for making the time to be here this evening. It's great to have the opportunity to connect with you all and talk a little bit about the Kelty Centre. As Susie said, my name is Bryn, and I'm one of the project managers at the Kelty Centre. And we are located at BC Children's Hospital on the unceded, traditional, and ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, of which I am immensely grateful to work on. And tonight, as a settler, I'm presenting to you virtually from the core territory of the Coquitlam First Nations people that lies within the traditional territories of the Tsleil-Waututh, Kelty, Musqueam, Squamish, and Stalo nations. A little bit about me. For my day job at the Kelty Centre, I get a chance to connect families, children, and youth to tailored mental health and substance use resources. And a great part of my job is the impact that I get to see and the results that I get to see from connecting families with those resources and that mental health information, no matter where they're at along their journey. I also get a chance to co-host and produce our podcast at the Kelty Centre, which is called Where You Are, and I'll speak to that in a little bit more detail as I run through some of the different resources that we have available for families to connect in at the Kelty Centre with. So tonight, I thought we'd spend the next 20 to 30 minutes talking about what the Kelty Centre is and what we offer for BC families. I'll highlight a few of our mental health and substance use resources that you as families can connect to and can share it with the families that you connect and support. And of course, leave ample time for questions at the end. And if you do have to leave a little bit early, I've included our email here on this slide. You can always email any questions you have about child and youth mental health resources to us at the Kelty Centre, keltycentre@cw.bc.ca, and you'll see that email a couple times throughout the presentation. For some of you, the Kelty Centre may be a new resource. For others, you may be quite familiar with us. Our physical space is located at the Healthy Mind Centre at BC Children's Hospital. And like many organizations, when COVID came about, we definitely shifted our services and began to offer them online or virtually to families. In terms of history, the Kelty Centre opened its doors in 2007, so we've been around for a little while. And it was the result of a generous donation from the Kelty Patrick Dennehy family, whose son experienced significant mental health challenges. And the parents themselves wanted to create a place or a central hub where families could come and find information on mental health and substance use and be connected to resources in a very easy and relatable way. Because I think their experience way back then at the time was that they had to go to a number of different community resource centers in order to find the information that they were looking for. So again, they really wanted to create that hub, and that's some of the great work that we get a chance to do now at the Kelty Centre. So we do offer mental health and substance use information and resources for parents and families of children and youth up to age 25. And then we also offer resources for the school professionals and the health professionals who support those kids in that age range. We offer peer support at the Kelty Centre by trained parent peer support workers, and I'll speak to that in a little bit. And then we also offer support with mental health and system navigation, as well as wayfinding, because some parents will connect in when they've maybe they're just starting their journey at the Kelty Centre and they're not really sure what to expect or kind of where to go in terms of mental health and substance use resources. And so again, that's part of the work that we get a chance to support families on. And then we also support families with information and resources on eating disorders and disordered eating. And again, that's for individuals of any age right across the lifespan. Our services are offered provincially, so we do have a provincial mandate, so anyone in BC can access us. And we can be reached by the phone. We have a toll-free number, 1-800-665-1822. They can connect with us by email, I mentioned that one earlier, and also through Zoom virtual appointments or meetings that can be arranged by call or by email, anytime Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. All of our resources that we do have for parents and families can be found on our website, and that's something I'm going to go into more detail on. And the best part about the Kelty Centre is that there's no wait times, there's no referral required, and we are free of charge. Looking more in detail at that parent peer support that we offer at the Kelty Centre. So Our parent peer support is offered through a collaboration, a wonderful collaboration we have with Family Smart. Some of you may have heard of that organization. And they're a provincial organization of trained adults and families and youth who have lived experience with mental health and wellness challenges themselves. And our parent peer support workers offer non-judgmental, compassionate peer support to families or caregivers or those who connect in with the Kelty Centre. So depending on where families might be at in their mental health and wellness journey, you can call and really get that listening ear and connect to someone who's likely walked a similar path, used similar services throughout the mental health and wellness system, and can really be, as I mentioned, a great listening ear for you to connect with. Families will connect in with the Kelty Centre at various points along the journey in terms of their child's mental health and wellness. So some will connect in with us at the beginning of their journey. So they're a little concerned about their children's mental health, or maybe not really sure what's going on, and maybe noticing some changes or differences in their children's maybe behaviors or thoughts. Maybe they're not sure if that's within the realm of kind of, normal social and emotional developmental age and stage changes, or if there's something else going on. So I think my child might be depressed. What can I do is often a common reason why people will connect in with us at the Kelty Centre, as an example. Families will also connect in with us after they've started to receive services. So they're looking for resources or tips about what to do while they're on wait lists for services. They're looking to find out information about what they can expect once they start to engage with those services. They're looking about information about a specific mental health or wellness diagnosis, medications maybe they've been prescribed, treatment options or explanations around different types of therapies, and again, that peer support piece. So, my child recently received a diagnosis, and it's really hard for them, and it's really hard for us as a family. Just wondering if there's someone I can talk to about this and figure out how to, best support my kid. And then families will connect in with us as well a little bit further along in their journey too. Maybe after they've started receiving services and they've accessed them and nothing's really helped. So they're looking for other treatment options, other different forms of support, and again, looking to find something that's a really great fit for their child that maybe just they haven't had luck with just yet. So that's an example of some of the trajectory and different points that people will connect in with us at the Kelty Centre. This slide has a couple of different testimonials from parents and caregivers that have connected back with the Kelty Centre and shared their appreciation for some of the work that they do and the connection that they made with some of our parent peer support workers and for some of the resources that we have. And I always like to include this slide as a reminder that when families connect in with us at the Kelty Centre, they can often be overwhelmed, but they are wanting to support their child's mental health and wellness as best they can. So no matter where they are in their journey, this is something that we understand and why we offer the services that we do at the Kelty Centre. And again, we offer these services for those right across the province. So for the next few slides, I'll focus in on our online resources. And if you take anything away from this presentation this evening, it's our website, keltymentalhealth.ca. So again, it has a number of different mental health and wellness resources. So apps, tools, videos, recorded webinars that we've done in the past that parents can come back and review at any point in time, podcasts, books, downloadable info sheets, and much, much more. And again, we also have an eating disorders and disordered eating website that focuses in on resources just specifically for that topic. It can also be reached through our main Kelty Centre website, and I always point that out in our presentation. A little bit about the Kelty Centre website. So all of our information and resources are evidence-based, and they've been reviewed by leading child and youth mental health clinicians who are experts. And that way families are receiving resources and information that are up to date and comprehensive. The sections on our website, we have a few of them, and you can see them on our blue navigation bar, and I'll show some examples on the website a little bit later. But we have sections on finding support and kind of where you can start your journey in terms of supporting your child's mental health and wellness. We have a section dedicated to mental health and substance use challenges and disorders, so almost like an A to Z list where you can find information on anything from anxiety to OCD to ADHD, somatization, just to give a few examples. We have a section dedicated to medication information and different types of therapies that kids might experience during their mental health and wellness treatments and treatment plans. And we have a section on healthy living. So for example, if you are looking for information on sleeping well, eating well, managing stress, how to handle screen challenges with your kiddos in your home, that would be found under that section. And then last but not least, we have our resource library that has a searchable function right at the top. So if you're looking for any specific resources, you can just type in the keywords that you might be interested in seeing. And yeah, you can find them in the resource library. I'll also highlight that we have a number of resources in a number of different languages. So for example, our medication information sheets are available in 6 different languages: Mandarin, Cantonese, Punjabi, Farsi, Korean, etc. So we also like to point out that there's translated resources available on our website too for families that you might connect with. As I mentioned a couple slides back, we have a few different audiences for the Kelty Center. So again, parents and caregivers are our primary audience, as well as the school professionals and health professionals who support these youth and young adults, as well as children with mental health and wellness challenges. And when you land on our homepage, you can see those 4 different tabs there, and that's what I've shown on our slide. And when you click on those tabs, it'll take you into a cohort of resources that are kind of focused for that audience specifically. And again, I have a few more slides on this, so I'll show them to you in just a second. I wanted to share a few of our popular resources for parents and caregivers. The first is our Where You Are Kelty Center podcast. And that's one of more of our recent resources. And you can find it wherever you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Amazon Music, etc. And that resource or that podcast brings together parents and caregivers who have lived experience parenting a child with mental health challenges, as well as a professional on that specific mental health and wellness topic, to kind of give some examples around practical tips and strategies that families can take away and try in their home. And it also connects you to additional resources that focus on those mental health and wellness topics. So it's a great resource, and we've been sharing that one. And on the slide, you can see some examples of some of the different topics we've included in our various seasons. We're in our 3rd season now, but anything from self-harm to concurrent disorders, social and emotional regulation, ADHD, anxiety, etc. And you can find us at keltymentalhealth.ca on our website /podcast, or again, wherever you listen to your podcasts. The other resource we have for parents and caregivers is our Ask Kelty Mental Health tool, which is also on the homepage of our website. And this tool is really a place where parents and caregivers can go and ask questions that they have around child and youth mental health. And at the Kelty Center, we often get a number of questions, and there's some similar themes that come through, or some similar questions that come through over and over and over that we've noticed over time. And so we wanted to share answers from psychologists and psychiatrists around these common questions. And so we've done that here in this tool. So again, parents can go and type in a question that they might have, or parents can browse by category. So for example, looking for information or common questions that get asked on treatment and support options, or schools and education in mental health and wellness, or information for when we're in crisis situations. So this is a great tool. And again, it's located right on our homepage. And it's a good one for parents and caregivers. Another resource that we have for parents and caregivers are our medication sheets. And families, it's our most popular resource and our most downloaded resource for sure. It has an A to Z list of mental health medications that can often get prescribed, and parents are curious to learn more about whether it be the use of them, common side effects, indications, or when to use it, what to do if you've missed a dose. So they're a really great resource. And we also have monitoring forms. So if your child started a new mental health medication, you can basically monitor some of their, either its behaviors or when they've taken their doses, etc., through the monitoring forms. And it can kind of just track their progress while they're on their mental health medication. So these are ones that are often downloaded on our website, like I was mentioning, or often clinicians will share them in appointments with parents and caregivers or families that they're connecting with. Our Kelty's recommended resources. This is another good one for parents that we like to share because it's a collection of, for example, the top 10 to 12 resources that we recommend at the Kelty Center on a specific mental health or wellness challenge. So this one here you can see on the slide. It's the top 10 to 12 resources on self-injury. And we will share this out with parents when maybe they're initially connecting in with the Kelty Center and looking for just some initial information. And again, these collections are reviewed by expert reviewers in child and youth mental health so that they do have the latest and most up-to-date evidence-based resources for families to start their research on. And you can also share these out electronically from the Kelty Center website with other family members. Maybe, for example, if you have some grandparents who are looking for, and you want to share some information on a recent diagnosis for one of your children, etc., you can also share these recommended resources with them. Moving along to youth, focusing on that youth tab on our website. When you click on youth and young adults, you will see Foundry as the main resource that we will connect you through to. And that's because Foundry offers young adults ages 12 to 24 a host of health and wellness resources, services, and supports, including virtual counseling and youth online peer support. We at the Kelty Center, and as part of our larger health literacy and health promotion team, have worked really closely with Foundry, and we actually have had a chance to develop the website for Foundry. And so we're very familiar with the resources that are on there. And again, they're so specific to youth and for youth that we always share this resource with parents to share with their youth, or for youth who come to our website. We want to make sure they know of this fantastic resource. So anything that talks about mental health and wellness, or other types of wellness. So maybe it's financial wellness, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's physical health and sexual health, etc. Foundry has a number of different resources and apps and tools that youth can connect to. As I mentioned, we do have a dedicated section for school professionals on our website. So if you happen to be a school professional, be it counselors, administrators, support staff, teachers, we know that you play a huge key role in supporting child and youth mental health. And so we wanted to have resources that were specific to school professionals. So in this section, you'll find resources on teaching and learning about mental health and well-being in school communities. For example, lesson plans that can support social and emotional learning at school or in your school community, information on teaching students about mental health literacy, resources on fostering teacher and staff well-being. That is all in this section on our website. We also have a dedicated section, as I mentioned, for health professionals. And on this section of the website, health professionals will go here and look for resources that they can share with families during their appointments that they have with them. So for example, GPs or family physicians will come here and maybe share some of the medication sheets in different languages that I was mentioning, or share some information on initial diagnosis with a family, and also connect families through to our parent peer support workers. So that's a little bit about the website and some of our popular resources and the different sections on it. I also wanted to focus in on some popular resources for children, for youth, and for parents and caregivers that we often share out with families at the Kelty Center. So the first one is Stressler. And we know that, mental health has become a priority, and wonderfully so, coming, especially as we move through the pandemic. And so Stressler is a great one for kids. So it's an online resource that was designed for kids ages 9 to 11, but I will be truthful. I have used Stressler with my kids in my home, and I used it as young as age 5. And they have some really cool resources on there that talk about what stress is, in kind of kid language and very lay friendly. The fact that some stress is good stress, not all stress is bad stress, and stress is an okay thing. And then it also talks about stress management techniques for kids. So when that stress becomes a little bit overwhelming, what can you do to kind of work through it? And it has 2 really cute videos. The first one focuses on relaxation, breathing, and it's about 20 seconds long, 30 seconds long. And I used to actually just play it for my kids sometimes. We'd sit down and kind of do it, maybe after dinner, maybe after reading a book before bed, that kind of thing. And it's about this little robot stressor, as you can see in the corner on the image there on the slide. And he kind of leads you through these different little exercises of relaxation breathing. And then the other great video it has is on muscle relaxation techniques. So, about kind of like squeezing your muscles and then just kind of letting them relax. So it's a fun one to do with younger kids, and it's a good resource, and it can definitely make a difference for sure. The resource we often share that was developed for youth and by youth is Breather, and it's a free downloadable app in iTunes or in the iTunes store, and it's like a mindfulness coach on the go, and it has different little mindfulness moments that kids or youth can do. For example, maybe in advance of a test, if they're feeling some stress coming on in that moment, if they're about to maybe, as a school sports team, kind of do an event, do a school sport together, they're taking on a local team or what have you, the team can do some short mindfulness moments together. And so this is a really good one. And again, it's a free resource, and it was developed for youth by youth. So that's a really great part to it. Three other resources I'll focus on. These ones are for parents and caregivers. So the first is called Rolling with ADHD, and it's a free online resource. Some of you may have heard of it. That offers 8 different online modules around parenting a child with ADHD. Anything from parenting techniques and tips, supporting your child at school and connecting with your child's school about ADHD, different types of ADHD medications and kind of understanding those. So again, it's a wonderful free resource that we share with a lot of parents. So I wanted to point out that one this evening. We have some great resources on technology use and kind of keeping tech in check. We have a whole section dedicated to that on the website. So handling challenges with screens and technology use at home, plans that you can sit down and make together as a family, like a home tech plan, is also a great resource on our website. And then the last resource I'm pointing out here are recorded webinars. So this one here that I've screen capped, it's one that focuses on eating disorders, and it was done in summer of last year. But for example, we have a number of different webinars available to parents and caregivers that you can go back and watch over and over on our Kelty YouTube channel. And so we like to point those resources out to families too. There's lots of different ways you can stay connected with the Kelty Center. We have very active social channels, including our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. So we share those out with families. And then also there's a monthly e-newsletter that parents and caregivers can sign up for. And then we also have a new one that's just been launched on our website that's a newsletter specific for school professionals. So again, you can keep track of some of the latest information and resources in terms of mental health and wellness to support children and youth at school. So that's the kind of short version of the presentation, or the brief version of the presentation. And I'll flip over to questions just shortly, and then I can also, as part of the question session, just kind of go through some examples or sections of the website with you. But again, if you leave here with anything this evening, or if I've piqued your curiosity about any of the resources that I've mentioned, they're all available on keltymentalhealth.ca. I encourage you to, open a browser on your phone and kind of take a look at our stuff and come back when you have a minute. And again, also feel free to, download and check out our podcast and some of our latest episodes. They might be helpful to you as families too.